Thank you for tuning in up to this point. And this is the last chapter, so this will be the last of Recipe for Adventure. So stay tuned at the end for the author's note to hear more about this lovely lady who is a famous chef, Giada de Laurentiis, and why she chose to write about Recipe for Adventure in Naples. All right, chapter 16. When Mom dropped off the still hot pizzas at school the next day, Alfie had one very important question to ask her. Zia helped me make these, right? I can cook on my own, you know, Mom said. But yes, she did help. I kept her on cheese duty. She ruffled his hair and told him to have a fun lunch with his friends. The school had combined grade levels for a potluck, and Amelia and her friends were in his group as well. The classroom was transformed into a mini United Nations with flags from all over the world hung on the walls and tables lined up around half the room filled with foods as colorful as the flags themselves. Miss Esch and Mrs. James, two of the teachers helping out today, worked on setting up the dishes and making sure there were plenty of plates, napkins, forks, and even chopsticks for all the students. Hey, Alfredo, called a boy in Alfie's class, who was sort of his friend, but also sort of annoying. His name was Charlie, and he was pointing to the pizza that Alfie was keeping a careful watch on. Alfie felt protective of them, but he wasn't sure why. Did you fly this in from Rome? Charlie was trying to tease Alfie, but Alfie wouldn't let him. You mean Naples, and no, my mom and aunt made it fresh. Yeah, sure, Charlie said. So what, you're going to Rome tomorrow or something? Not sure, Alfie said, shrugging like he was actually considering it. Hey, Alfie, said Becky, a girl in his class, who leaned over the box of pizza. When exactly do you go to Italy? Not long ago, Alfie said. The way Becky leaned over the pizza made him think she actually wanted to hear about his trip, unlike Charlie. If you want, I could tell you all about it after school, like how I escaped from a thief through an underground cemetery. Wow, really? Becky said. Really, Alfie said. Excuse me, Alfredo, Amelia said. She eyed Becky. A word, please. I'll be right back, he told Becky. Amelia literally pulled him by his arm across the room to a corner by the bratwurst of Germany. Hey, listen, she said, speaking quietly. I was thinking, did Mom say Zia Donatella helped with the pizzas? After she got totally offended at me for asking, she said she did. So, you know what this means? Amelia said. When people start biting into our pizza, it's going to be whammo, transported back to Naples. I know, Alfie said. I was thinking the same thing. Alfie pictured himself acting as tour guide through the city, showing his classmates how to get to the market, Trattoria Floriano, the catacombs, and more. Maybe this time they'd have time to visit Mount Vesuvius. Alfie knew his sister would love seeing it. Okay, everyone, Miss Edge called the students. Time to present our dishes. The students gathered to the center of the room. The students were in teams of 2 or 3 to present their country or region and the food they brought to represent it. They listened through the bangers and mash from England, tamales from Mexico, couscous from Morocco, and lots more. When it was time for Alfie and Amelia to present, Amelia took the lead. Our family is from Italy, she said proudly. My mom and dad moved here when they were about our age. Not together, though, Alfie said, and the teachers laughed, and so did some of the students. They met when they were in college and already living here. Well, yeah, of course, Amelia said. This pizza is like the pizza from the city of Naples in southern Italy. What makes this pizza special is the people of Naples. Is that doesn't have many ingredients, but the ingredients it does have are really good, fresh, and delicious. Also, it's made from scratch by my mom and great aunt, who both grew up in Naples, Alfie added. So enjoy, Amelia said, throwing her arms wide. Finally, all the presentations were done, and it was time to sample the food. Students could choose to eat from whichever country they wanted to taste, and Alfie and Amelia watched closely as some of their classmates gathered around the pizza. The siblings already had their slices, ready to bite into them as soon as their friends and other students began eating. Here, Becky, I saved you a slice, Alfie said, handing Becky a plate with a big slice on it. Amelia rolled her eyes, but Alfie pretended not to see. Becky took a bite of the pizza. It's really good, she said through a mouthful. Doesn't it taste like Naples? Alfie said. Sure, I guess, she said. Have you ever had the taco explosion pizza at Presto Pizza? It's amazing. Alfie couldn't believe it, but he actually had to turn away from Becky at that comment. He stood with Amelia, and they watched as Daniel Mackenzie picked up a slice and tipped the end into his mouth. He chewed and talked to his friend Austin, and soon Austin picked up a slice as well. But nothing happened. 3 and 4 and 5 more students ate the pizza, but nothing was happening. No one was going anywhere. Why aren't they being transported? Amelia asked. Maybe we have to eat it at the same time? Alfie said. And tell stories of Naples? Amelia said. Remember Zia told us about her home as we ate the Zapoli? They went to the center of the crowd and worked it as best they could. In Naples, the streets are really narrow and made of cobblestones, Amelia said as she chewed a bite. You have to be careful where you walk, or you'll trip on the stones or bump right into someone walking really fast by you. Everyone's in a rush, but it's because they all have something important to do, Alfie said, trying to think quickly. It's a busy city with lots of small cars rushing through the streets. Yeah, can't you just see it? Amelia asked. The crowds, the people, Alfie said, the streets. And the tiny cars, Charlie said. Yeah, we got it, dude. Soon the pizza had been devoured and everyone had moved on to the gyros from Greece. Why didn't it work? What did we do wrong? Amelia asked. Maybe we somehow dreamed it after all. I don't believe it, Alfie said. And I don't think you do either. Maybe Zia has to be here, Amelia said. Right after school, let's go straight home, Alfie said. We'll ask Zia to make us something, maybe more Zapoli. Don't say another word about Naples or Italy or travel or anything. Just tell her we love her cooking. And her stories, Amelia added. And we'll see what happens. Deal? Deal, Amelia said. They could hardly wait until the final bell of the day when they were dismissed. Alfie and Amelia raced out the front doors and down the sidewalk towards home. They hopped up and down at the crosswalk waiting for the light to change, and when they finally made it to the front door of their house, Alfie practically broke the front door. He slammed through it with such a force. But inside, the house was quiet. Zia Donatella, Alfie called, and Amelia followed him to the kitchen. Ciao, ragazzi! There you beauties are, Zia Donatella said from behind the kitchen island. The counter in front of her was covered with bowls, pots, spice jars, and all the kinds of fresh ingredients. So, are you ready for the next adventure? I just want to read this really quick author's note from Ms. Giada. She is the author, and she is a famous chef. It says, pizza's the first thing I remember cooking. I would make Neapolitan pizza with my grandfather, and as we cooked, he would tell me of his adventures in the beautiful city of Naples. He made me dream of adventures of my own, and it made the pizza we made together taste even more delicious. My grandfather was born in Torre Anzuta, a city in Province of Naples, and we kneaded dough, sliced tomatoes, and grated cheese together. He would tell me about the sights and smells of Naples, and when I first visited Naples, I understood why my grandfather loved that city so much. Naples is one of the oldest cities in Europe, and its architecture ranges from medieval castles and ancient ruins to beautiful churches and stunning piazzas. And the food of Naples reflects that it has been a crossroads for world travelers throughout its long history. Even though those days of pizza making with my grandfather are gone, and I'm now making pizza with my daughter, his memories of Naples will stay with me forever. And what's really neat about these books, and what I really love about these books, is they always include a recipe card. So you can make your own pizza, some tomato basil pizza. Zia's recommendation for pizza right there. And then on the back, it also gives some more steps to make your pizza. It's signed by Zia, as you can see there. And then it also shows you how to make Zia's Zapoli, which were those little fried doughs rolled in cinnamon sugar that sound delicious. And once again, it's signed by Zia on the back. So you have all the ingredients and the recipe cards, which is pretty neat. So if you are interested in this series, this is the first book in the series, and you want to know more, there are many other books. They go on many other adventures. The next book goes to Paris, France. They go to New Orleans. They go to Mexico, Brazil, all these amazing places, and they learn all about the food and the culture in these places. So if you're interested, check out the series called Recipe for Adventure. You can find it on Amazon. It's where I found these books. And I hope that you go on your own culinary adventure and learn about other countries and other amazing cultures out there that have so much to teach us. And stay tuned for my next video. Bye.